The Jake Asman Show will begin shortly. Thanks to all these great Patreon members who help support the show. Get your super chats ready. Jake will be here in just a moment. If you love the New York Jets, this is the place to be. And now, the Jake Asman Show.
Did new Jets head coach Aaron Glenn take a shot at old Jets quarterback Aaron Rodgers when praising Justin Fields? We will talk about that and much more. It's the Jake Asman Show. Let's hit it and get it started. Man, our Jets are primed to win another offseason, baby. We bleed Jets green each and every day. Will the playoff drought finally end? Kings of the offseason, baby. This is what we do. At least we have Garrett Wilson. We have Brees Hall. Please subscribe and hit the like button below. Super chat, baby. Cut the line. We have Sauce Gardner. We have Quinn Williams. Prepare to be underdogs. Now it's time to talk all things New York Jets. It's the Jake Asman Show. Here we go. Show number 2 on the day. Welcome in, everybody. Please click the like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Another reminder to join the Patreon. It's a great way to further connect with our incredible Asmaniac community. You gain access to the Discord. You'll get your name added to the intro. You get multiple bonus shows on Patreon every month that are not on YouTube. 20% off all items in my merch store and a whole lot more. Plus, if you sign up for the year, you automatically get 10 raffle entries in our most up-to-date raffle, which this week includes a signed Walt-Clyde Frazier jersey, a signed Joe Namath jersey, and a signed CJ Mosley jersey. So check it out if you haven't done so already, and join the Patreon and continue to help us grow this incredible community. Joining us right now in his weekly spot, rocking some Asmaniac gear, Dylan Tereman joins us now. Dylan, new YouTube channel is off to a great start for you. The Asmaniac merch has arrived. Who's got it better than you right now?
That's what I'm asking right now. I mean, it's the dog days of May, but like everything's pointing up for your boy over here. So I appreciate you having me on as always. Chat, I always see the love. I'm already seeing the love. So you guys are the best. I'm happy to be here.
Plus, forget me in regards to, being in the Discord. I mean, Dylan's in there too. Always mixing it up with listeners of this show. So Dylan's awesome. We appreciate him coming on every single week. So I'm listening to Aaron Glenn yesterday, and every time Glenn speaks, I really enjoy his press conferences. I don't want to get ahead of myself and say that means he's going to be a good head coach or whatnot, but the bare minimum, I get the sense Aaron Glenn is a real leader. But yesterday, I'm listening to him give tremendous praise of Justin Fields, who obviously yesterday participated in the Jets' second OTA, but it was the first one that was open to the media. And there was a comment that Glenn made at the end of a very long answer about Fields where I go, I wonder if he's taken a maybe not so subtle shot at Aaron Rodgers. And I wasn't the only one who thought that, because there were multiple headlines that were similar to the one you see on the screen. Jets coach Aaron Glenn praises Justin Fields' leadership as team moves on from Aaron Rodgers. So I want to be fair. I want to play the entire answer, and then we will react, Dylan and I want the chat's thoughts on whether or not you believe Aaron Glenn was maybe subtly or maybe not so subtly taking a little dig at ex-Jets quarterback Aaron Rodgers. So it all starts with this, a question from a reporter to Glenn on Justin Fields being a chill personality, a quieter leader at the quarterback spot. And this was Aaron Glenn's answer to that question.
Seems like a pretty quiet, chill guy.
Yeah.
What kind of a leader is he?
Well, that is his personality. And exactly what I just said is what he's trying to do, and just to be a positive influence on all his teammates. And listen, Justin's doing things outside of the building that I'm going to let him speak on whenever you guys talk to him, show how he's trying to just have relationships with all the players, and not just the offensive players either, just with all the players on the team. And that has a lot to do with leadership there, just being able to communicate, with offensive guys, defensive guys, it doesn't matter, special teams. And he's doing a really good job of that. And yes, he is a quiet voice, but that quiet voice doesn't mean that people don't hear him. People see the way that he works. That speaks more than what you say. And I like that about him, because he's himself. and he's authentic. He's not going to change for nobody. And I'd rather have that than somebody that's fake.
Was that not a little bit like the way you were as a player?
What?
Quiet, didn't.
You tell me. You were here when I was here.
I feel like you just kind of described yourself a little bit right there. That's why I threw that out there. You know what I mean?
Well,
so it seems like you take to that kind of, way about it.
listen, I take to him because he's authentic and he's himself. And there's one thing that players can pick out is someone that's fake. And there's nothing about him that's fake. So I love everything about the player. I love everything about the way he carries himself. And I'm looking forward to him as he go through this process of being these OTAs.
Aaron, how much of that did you know before you met Justin?
Say it again?
How much of that about Justin did you know about his personality and that the stuff that you've just kind of talked about?
Well, you hear about it just from other coaches around the league that's been around him. And now that I've been around him for this long, I mean, you come to see that he's a man's man, for one, and he's himself. And again, I like that about him. I like that he's not trying to be, and I'm going to use a Parcells deal now. He's not trying to be the celebrity quarterback. He's just trying to be himself. And whatever comes with that, it comes with it. So he's not trying to impress anybody. He's going out there and he's busting his ass trying to be the best quarterback he can be for this team. And everybody see that. And I like that.
So the last part there, right? The last 35 seconds or so, him talking about Fields not being a celebrity quarterback. That is the quote that generated a lot of headlines of people going, a little shot at Aaron Rodgers there. Your thoughts on those comments, Dylan?
Yeah, I'll talk about the first part first before the last 35. I just think at this point, Aaron Glenn is not going to waste any opportunity to lift up his current quarterback, Justin Fields. And that's a good thing. I mean, we've seen the overwhelming amount of confidence that they have in him. They didn't go draft a guy. They didn't bring a guy in free agency. Brady Cook is the only real addition they made to the room. So they're 100% in Fields' corner. Now, obviously, he brings up the Parcells line of the celebrity quarterback. And yes, then you can somewhat apply that to Aaron Rodgers. I don't know if he was necessarily taking the shot exactly at Rodgers, but I also think if there's a chance where Aaron Glenn can prop up his guy while also subtly doing something about the former quarterback that we used to have, yeah, I think he's going to take that opportunity as well, because we've never really heard his full thoughts after Rodgers came out on McAfee and explained his side of the situation. So, and we'll never hear Aaron Glenn or Darren Muji talk about their full side of the story. But when you hear little comments like this, I think that you can draw a parallel to what he's saying about the current quarterback and what we used to have, because it's night and day. And as far as Fields' leadership, I would love to be the type of leader that Justin is, where he just comes in, humble over hype, like his shirt said on the first day he was here. He puts his head down, he goes to work. People visually see him putting in the work, not hearing him talk about the work he puts in, and they're going to gravitate to that. So I just think, for better or worse, Aaron Glenn is fully bought in on Justin Fields. And at this point, we just have to trust that the development of the coaching staff and Justin Fields himself are enough to, put the Aaron Rodgers talk to bed. So I'd say it's a subtle shot, but it probably was more a confidence boost to Fields rather than a shot at Rodgers.
I don't think it was intentional as far as, but I think if you read and analyze his answer, right, I feel like it does give you some insight into Glenn's thought process and why he had no interest seemingly in having Aaron Rodgers be the quarterback here. He didn't think at this stage, with a new regime coming in and trying to install his culture, he could have a quarterback that commands so much attention. And it's not because Aaron Rodgers is a bad guy or anything. It's because he's Aaron Rodgers, so the focus is always going to be on him because of the fact he's one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time. So I don't think it was an intentional, hey, I'm going to throw a little dig at Aaron Rodgers, but I think without maybe doing it on purpose, it is a dig at Aaron Rodgers in a way, but not a dig like he's trying to take a shot to create a headline. You had to be really paying attention to be aware of like what he's saying and how that relates to the decision they made to already move off of Rodgers.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, the whole celebrity quarterback thing, that's not even his. That's Bill Parcells, and he's just kind of quoting Bill Parcells and using it. It's our job as the media to defer what, or kind of make sense of what he's talking about, and people will connect that with Aaron Rodgers because he does have that high celebrity status. He goes on podcasts and talks about non-football things. Justin Fields doesn't really do that. But I also wouldn't say that Aaron Rodgers is fake. I think Aaron Rodgers is upfront about who he is and what he likes to talk about. It's just a different way of running the team, and Justin Fields is going to do a completely different job of that. Is it going to be as successful? We don't know yet, but I would take Justin Fields' leadership ability sometimes over Aaron Rodgers' ability. Like the body language on the field that we saw from Rodgers last year was inexcusable multiple times, and I'm a huge Rodgers guy, so like for me to even admit that, it's kind of hard. But Justin Fields, you're not going to see that. If a guy drops a pass, he might show frustration, but he's not going to throw the ball at Kenny Yeboah's ass and then blame him for not catching it. So it's just two completely different quarterback styles. And I did like the way that Aaron Glenn smiled when they asked about him as a player being quiet and work ethic and performance stands out over everything. And he was like, well, that's why he picked a quarterback to lead his team. The first opportunity he has as a head coach, he's going to go find a quarterback that reminds him of himself when he played in the NFL. So I think it's a good match between him and Fields. And obviously Engstrand is the X factor in the whole relationship. But to me, I think it's such a positive that he's boosting up Justin Fields this way, because that's what he needs, is confidence. I don't think he's played with confidence at the NFL level. Go back to Chicago when he had Matt Nagy. That might have been the best offensive mind that he had. And Matt Nagy went back to Kansas City because he couldn't get a job anywhere else, and they just took him back. So Engstrand could be the best guy that's ever worked with Fields, and we might see the best version of him ever, honestly.
Well, the thing is, they're talking about Fields like they truly think he's going to be their franchise quarterback. And part of me wonders, are they doing it because of something you alluded to before? And it's a great point, because they're trying to build up his confidence. They want him to know that, hey, we're behind you. This is your team. Or do they actually believe that, right? Like, I can't tell. Like, do they truly think they have their guy in Fields, or are they just trying to prop him up for the chance he might be, and they think this is the best way to do it? I haven't been able to figure out just yet.
If I had to just completely speculate, I would say that they're leaning more towards he is the franchise guy than he isn't, because they wouldn't have given him that second year of the deal with 10 or whatever $1 million guaranteed, just on the hopes that if 2025 does go as they expect, 2026 is an easy year where maybe you get an extension done, but it doesn't necessarily change the contract for Fields in 26. You can add money into the future if you think he's the franchise guy. So I think they're leaning more into, they think Fields is the guy, because if not, he would have got a 1-year deal, a complete prove it deal. To me, the 2 for $40 with 30 guaranteed says that they at least think that there's maybe a 60% chance that they can pull the best parts out of him. And if that's the case, next year's money is going to look like easy money compared to what it could be if Fields had a 1-year deal and pops, even not pops to the point where the Jets are fantastic, but he pops enough where it's like, now he has a leg to stand on with his representation and says, okay, now go give me 35 a year starting in 2026. So that conversation gets pushed down to 2027. So I would say, if I had to speculate, 65%, they think he's going to be the guy. 35%, they're just kind of hedging their bet, and 10 million is a small pill to swallow if it goes south.
Hit the like button if you're just tuning in. Comments, questions, super chats, always cut the line. Your thoughts on what Fields could actually do this year? Like, it's such a hard stat line to project, but how do you think we will know whether or not Fields is the guy for 2026? Like, what in your eyes does that look like?
I don't want to put a yardage total or touchdown total on it, but to me, if Fields is keeping you competitive in the second half of football games, protecting a lead when you actually have it, no more fourth quarter blown leads. Obviously, it's going to happen, but at the rate it happened last year was just unacceptable, whether you blame offense or defense. I would just like to see Fields stay competitive in the second half of these games, the second half of the season, really, November and December. But that's when you got to bring your run game and defense, right? So those things are going to help the Jets. If they can just kind of tread 500 record, maybe one game above 500 entering the cold months, I think that's the barometer for Fields that I'm looking at. if I had to put a number, maybe like 3,600 total yards, where he has like 800 on the ground, 2,800 passing, maybe, 25 to 30 total touchdowns, where he's given you close to 10 on the ground and the rest in the air. I don't think he's going to come out and light the world on fire as a passer. And I also don't want to see them just spam run plays with Justin Fields. You have to take advantage of his arm, get those defenses to go back in those too high shells. If you got 7-8 men in the box, Breece Hall, Braylon Allen, Isaiah Davis, they're not going to do anything. And that's also going to hurt the tight ends who are blocking up front for him. So to me, be efficient with his running ability, but also give him those confidence shots where he's throwing a back shoulder fade to Garrett Wilson on 1st and 10 right out the gates, so that you get a drive starter going and he's like, okay, I can do this now. I can play quarterback. I can throw the ball all over the yard. And the confidence they're starting now with him in camp is going to translate to the X's and O's confidence that we see from Justin Fields. So I would just say be competitive. Don't try to do too much, but don't do what Pittsburgh did either and ask him to just be a game manager. There's definitely an in-between with Fields where I think you can see the improvement, but also get more efficiency from him.
Super chat from the big fella. Dylan is the best analyst guest, period. Frankie, thumbs down. Frankie getting a shot from the big fella. Dylan is excellent, though.
Yeah, I was gonna say no need to put down Frankie in the process, but I do appreciate it, big fella. We recognize you every day on this channel, even if the league just started yesterday.
Great tweet yesterday from Dylan. So the NFL, for those who've missed it, at the owners' meetings, they announced a new award at the end of the season, the Protector of the Year award, which will go to the NFL's best offensive lineman. Their goal is to, quote, recognize the big fellas. So then Dylan, being Dylan, goes, we recognize the big fella every day on the Jake Asman Show. Well done, sir.
Hey, big fella protects that bed with his belly of his, so we got to hold it down for big fella.
Love it. Super chat from Mark, a $10 super chat. Get you 2 raffle entries for those of you who are on your phone and you don't have the opportunity to gift the membership to get in there. Jets scored the second fewest points of any team who had their QB1 for 12-plus games, less points than the Dalton Panthers, with 2 wide receiver ones, a solid O-line and RB room, and AR's hand-picked OC. Well, I think it just speaks volumes on how poor the coaching was last year. And the offensive line, I think, was decent in pass protection. They had 0 running game. They had no balance. They were a team that tried to run the ball and never could, so they just scrapped it and became a pass-first offense, and it was not sustainable. Like last year, they have never gotten less from an offense that had more, if that makes sense. Like you look at the names and the talent, even some of the eye tests of some of the individual moments from these guys. It's just crazy how poorly coached I believe they were.
Yeah, and I think this falls back on Joe Douglas for building a roster of individual names instead of building a football team. And obviously they catered a ton to Aaron Rodgers' needs. And then the coaching staff, we heard, for the last at least 2 years, we want teams that are the best teams in the NFL are run by the players. And to me, we were like, okay, the coaches are going to let the guys do their thing, but we didn't realize that the coaches weren't going to do anything. And that's the problem, is when the coaches did absolutely nothing, the players had to will themselves to a 5-12 finish. And luckily 5-12 was probably a good thing compared to what it could have been. When you have no coaching in this league, like it makes all the difference. So even if you get average coaching out of this team, you should see a huge spike based on just the talent alone. Like we have way too much talent, and that's why we didn't do the rebuild. We did a retool, and we got a couple new pieces here and there, but the talent spoke way too highly for the coaching staff to just sit back on their hands and not do a damn thing.
Luppy says a good nickname for Fields, if he's good, is the Fields General.
Ooh, I do like that.
Not bad. So hopefully he's good, Luppy. Then we give you all the credit on this show. So I do also want to mention the controversy from the first show today. Massive Asmaniac rumble broke out between Gary and Black Gypsy at the end of my first show today, all stemming from the fact that Gary came in, took a bunch of shots at Knicks fans. I got into it with him. I called him a narcissist. Gary denied being a narcissist, and that's led to a lot of controversy on the show. So Nate wrote in, Jake, can we skip the Jet talk today and maybe discuss ... narcissism? Big fella wrote, you can't be a narcissist if you have multiple crooked pictures of yourself on your wall. And I would like to now read a comment from the arbiter of the chat, the OG himself, Dave Brigga, responding to Nate, saying, Nate, please, no more of that guy. What is the Gary show? Enough. So some want more Gary, some don't want Gary. But I would like to update those who missed the first show today. You might want to go back and check it out because things got wild.
Yeah, and I mean, I have. Let me use my words carefully here because Gary is a man of words and semantics. I have love for everybody on this show, so I'm not going to say definitively Gary is a narcissist or a misogynist or anything that the chat was saying. But when you go through the list of qualities, there are some that Gary possesses. There's some that I possess. There's probably some that you possess if we dig down into it. But when you only have one or two of those traits, can you really be a narcissist? Now, if you had 6, 7, 8 or more of those traits, potentially, you kind of fit the label. And I'm not gonna, like I said, I have love for everybody in the chat. Gary's a good guy. I even love Alan. He gave me a B grade, and if he heard the song I wrote, maybe he'd get a C grade for me. But I have love for everybody in the chat. So I thought it was a crazy last 45 minutes of the show this morning.
Yep. For those who missed it, you missed a lot. So definitely check that out. And if Gary calls in, he's certainly welcome to come on the show again. Nate with a super chat. Dylan does awesome little 5 to 10 videos on his YouTube.
Nate,
yeah.
What's up, dude? I appreciate you, man. I appreciate everybody. I guess like the big thing I'm trying right now is I'm not leaving any comment unanswered. I'm looking at everything. I'm taking all the feedback into account. And Nate, you're a good one. I appreciate you a lot, man.
Big fella says, big news, the bet is no more. Bring on the desk. Wow, big fella, you got to lie down on a desk for your next call?
We got to fix the emoji.
We got to update the emoji. We got to update the theme song. This is a stunning turn of events. Please click the like button if you haven't. Subscribe to the channel. Reminder, if you gift a membership, you're in the raffle. Plus, for those of you who have been following our latest emoji saga, the Chef Kevin emoji is officially live for people to use in the chat. So congrats to Chef Kevin, and thank you to Addison, Joe Mike, and Stack for their assistance in getting a Chef Kevin emoji made for the people. Let's see here. I want to get into some other things that happened yesterday. I talked about this on the first show with Matt O'Leary. Are you encouraged by Garrett Wilson's comments saying he wants to be a Jet for life? Does that mean anything to you, or are you still not buying into an extension for Garrett coming soon?
No, I mean, he's just continuing to prove why he is the exact type of player that you need to give a long-term extension to. Everything he says is spot on. I want this guy on my team for the long haul. And I understand he was frustrated last year, and he even said it himself. He's like, I was unhappy losing, but I wasn't unhappy. So for all the people that are like, oh, he wanted to leave with Rodgers, but now he wants to stay with Glenn and Fields. Like, I don't think it's necessarily that. Winning changes everything, and dollar signs do too. But if you can do both for Garrett Wilson, why not? And like, I look at a guy like Quinnen too. He's entering year 7, and the dude, like, he hasn't seen shit as a winning team. So like, we need to do our part for these players that we bring in that are homegrown, that are, top picks in the draft, that hit their potential. Maybe they're not Hall of Fame guys, but to Jets standards, these are like borderline Ring of Honor type players. With Garrett Wilson, the first 3 seasons that he has, his numbers are just insane. You rattled him off earlier today. Like, he could go for all those records if he stays here. So to me, he's the perfect person to pay. I think they break for camp at like the midway point in June. If there's no extension for Garrett by that midway point where they break for camp, I will be a little nervous that it might not happen until next year. And then it gets really dicey. So to me, yeah, Garrett is the type of player I pay immediately. The quote itself, I'm hopeful I'm a Jet for life, bring back the PTSD of, what was it, Joe Douglas, when he said about Jamal Adams being a Jet for life, and then he was traded for 2 firsts. And I wouldn't even be happy at this point if Garrett was traded for 2 firsts. I want Garrett Wilson for the long haul, 100%.
I mean, look, ultimately, Garrett Wilson's on his way to being one of the best Jets ever if he spends his whole career here. So that's a guy you keep. And once again, the thing with Garrett that I've always loved, he just wants to win, man. And like, some guys say that and you don't believe him, but like, I believe Garrett Wilson. Like, he's a good guy. Like, I've been lucky to have met him a couple times, and like, he's a genuinely good dude who I think is made of the right stuff. You got to win with him, man. For everyone saying, "Oh, the Jets aren't going to be that good. Maybe they should consider trading him." It's like, then you got to replace him, and that's what leads you to spending money on guys in free agency who aren't that good to fill the hole. That brings you Corey Davis. That brings you to these guys who can't play, right? Like, you have a guy who has proven he's quarterback proof, wants to be here. That's the guy you pay, and I'm hoping they get something done before the year at the bare minimum.
Yeah, and Aaron Glenn seems to be, privy to this. Like, he knows that when there's a good football player that the team drafted and developed themselves, you have to keep those guys around for the long term. And we saw that in Detroit. They were starting to build something really good where Dan Campbell and him got his hands on the roster. They kind of flipped it all around in the first 3 years. They didn't feel bad about how they look now when they're paying guys big contracts. Like, why can't the Jets be part of that? That's what good franchises do. And for the ones that, maybe they don't want to keep around, they keep around and they get something back, whether it's a comp pick or a trade later on down the road. So I think they're going to go about this roster building process much, much differently than the last regime has.
Hit the like button, comments, questions, super chats. We'll cut the line. Luppy has gifted 5 channel memberships. Let's go, Luppy.
We're the freaking New York Jets, so we're built for this shit.
Dylan Tereman is a channel member. Are you kidding me? How about that? Luppy, we're giving you an extra 2 raffle entries for gifting one of the co-hosts of this afternoon stream.
It expired today, too, so.
How about that? Some people go months from their membership expiring to getting another one. But I guess when you're on the actual show, the algorithm will favor that.
You got to be in the chat, man. You got to be liking. You got to subscribe. You got to be in the chat, man. You got to be part of the community. That's what it's all about.
Dixon Yas getting a membership. Kyle Clifton. Swamp Ranger receiving a membership. And JM2 also getting a channel membership from the Lup Man. Big fella, if you're out there, please call in from your desk. I think a lot of people are dying to see it based on some of these comments here. One Glenn thing I want to play because you're more of an X's and O's guy than I am. So I'm curious your thoughts on this. This was Glenn yesterday talking about Garrett Wilson.
Give him the ball as much as possible. Give him the ball as much as possible. That's it.
Now, I'm not a coach, Dylan, but it sounds like they want to give the ball to Garrett Wilson as much as possible. Your thoughts?
It does not sound like fluff. And the fact that he repeated it before any other words were said, yeah, you got to take it for what it is. Obviously, Robert Saleh kind of said the same thing. We're going to feed Garrett. The chemistry between him and 8 is going to be fantastic. And then it wasn't. So I want Aaron Glenn to actually, put his money where his mouth is with this one because Garrett Wilson does not deserve, 26 targets over the last 4 games, like Matt O'Leary said? How do you have 23 in week 5 and then 26 over the last month of the season? I don't care about Devontae Adams being here. That's just another element in your wheel. Like you had more at your disposal, and Garrett should not be getting 5 or 6 targets down the stretch. So yeah, get those numbers up, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 targets per game for Garrett all season long. And like I said before, he's going to break records if you give him a 5-year contract and he plays it out with the Jets. There's no way he doesn't catch Don Maynard's 11,000 yards or 600 catches. He already has over 300 catches, I believe. So, he's almost halfway there after 3 seasons. So yeah, you gotta mix it up too. And I think the wide receiver room, although not great, you have Allen Lazard and Josh Reynolds who you can play on the boundary, put Garrett in the slot, and then you can keep Smith and Corley off to the side until they figure out what their role and impact is going to be on the team. Or you could put Garrett isolated as the X receiver on the one side and 3 guys on the right side, and he can have his day with the cornerback depending on what matchup it is. And they'll probably bracket a safety over the top of him, let's be honest, but that's just going to open up way more for the other players. And the fact that he's already hitting it off with Justin Fields and they're picking up where they left off, dude, give me like 150, 160 targets for Garrett Wilson this season, and I think he'll really show out.
JoJo in the raffle for 2. She gifted 2 memberships, or she is in the raffle for 2 with this $10 super chat. Yay, Dylan. How about that, Dylan? You have support from JoJo, a member of the 4% female demographic.
Hey, gotta love it. I mean, everybody in this chat is amazing. JoJo, I've always seen your support. You're truly one of the better ones in the chat for sure.
YouTube user says 5.5 wins. Take the over. What's your win total right now? Subject to change, of course.
7. But like you said, with more news and information, we can change those expectations. And I feel like, not to get off track, but Will McDonald, that's a player. Like, you had expectations, you found out he gained 15 pounds. Those expectations change. He's now an edge-setting 3-down player if if everything hits well for him. So I would say 7 wins right now is where I'm at. But dude, convince me 8 or 9, and I'll believe you. I'm cool with that. 10 is a little bit of a stretch just based on the schedule. But we talked about it when the schedule came out. Baltimore, Buffalo twice, Cincinnati. Even if you gave all 4 of those losses, you go 500 in your other 13 games, you have 6 or 7 wins. So it's not a matter of Dakota in the chat 3-14. I just don't see that. Like, I really don't, unless everything at this team is just doomed from the start.
3D Narcissist writes in, I'm the most amazing. We now have Gary parody names, which you'll love to see.
So quick you guys are to just change your names and just spam the chat. I love it. It's great.
One Punch Brigga says Gary has become as stale as a week-old loaf of white bread. Has Gary become stale?
No, because he brings eyeballs. He brings viewers. Like, people tune in and they argue in the chat. Like, the chat was buzzing when he and Gypsy were going at it. And, you know, that's what you need on the channel, man. You need bad publicity is still good publicity, in my opinion. So, like, I think Gary's here to stay for the long haul. I like it.
Yeah. I mean, more people reached out to me after the Gary battle this morning than after any normal like show I've done. So it captivated the Asmaniac community. That's for sure.
It's like a car crash. You have to watch it, but you don't want to. Like, you're driving by and you're like, dang, like, that's a bad accident. And you're focusing on the road, but like, you're also leaning over here. I was in the kitchen doing dishes and I had it on the TV in the living room, and I'm like turning the water off to hear Gary's points because I want to hear it. Like, it's entertainment at the end of the day.
I received a message from a listener. I won't reveal who this is because I don't know if they want me to read this publicly. But the message was, let's see, it was, I actually paused to go into a supermarket because I didn't want to miss a second of this. So they literally just sat there and had to watch the end of the Gary madness before they continued on with their day.
Gary's priority viewing, man. I don't know what else to say. He is a star.
Ladies and gentlemen, speaking of stars, our first caller today is none other than Clifton.
Let's go on. What's up, gentlemen? How are you?
Mr. Clifton.
Kyle.
So, I don't think that Glenn was throwing shade in this instance. I think that it just was a fortuitous circumstance that we can kind of seize on this and kind of pick it apart. Like, it doesn't serve his larger statements of trying to focus on the people who were there and move on past Rodgers if he's doing that stuff. I think that it would be a little counterproductive towards what he's trying to build with the culture. You know, human nature, based on what he said about Glenn and some of the comments he made on McAfee, might lead you to believe that might be the case. But me personally, I don't want to believe that Glenn is dwelling too much and focusing on Rodgers. I think he might be trying to build up Fields and trying to just establish him as a leader in his own mind and kind of build up his confidence in his first 2 years as a Jet. Is that fair?
Yeah.
I agree.
No, that's definitely fair. And it's tough because the media and the fans, we've been here through the Rodgers years and obviously much before that. Aaron Glenn hasn't. So the second he said, this is not about Aaron Rodgers' team, this is about the team as a whole, as a roster, it felt like he did not care to talk about Aaron Rodgers ever again. So for him to like go out of his way to bring it up about Rodgers, I agree with you. I don't think that's what it was. But if he's going to take a little subtle shot, the best time to do it is when lifting up your current quarterback.
So the other thing I wanted to say is I think that the Patreon and the show is better with Gary on it. I am a person who's, had disagreements with Gary in the past in the Patreon, and they were notable. But, he's got good qualities. He makes some good points. He can be a little bit strident, can be a little bit somewhat seeming to be authoritarian at times, but that's just kind of Gary as you get to know him, right? Like he's set in his ways, and that's fine. It's different strokes for different folks at the end of the day. The last order of business for me is to give great thanks for the membership to the Lup Man. Thanks, guys.
Love it. Kyle Clifton, everyone. A great call. Wow, Gary's in the chat. Gary under the BK Nothing But Nets podcast says, I literally just tuned in and y'all are still talking about me. God dang. Y'all can be the fans and I'll just be the superstar.
I'm pretty sure maybe it was before he hopped on. I said Gary is a star on this show. I'm not going to say he's the show, but eyes tune in when Gary is on. So I agree with Kyle. I would not want Gary to not be part of the show. He definitely brings, character to the show for sure. So, I mean, whatever, dude. We'll talk about it. It just happened a couple hours ago. It's still hot.
JD says Gary brings chaos. Always good for the show. Yo, Holmes, Gary is a dope.
And that's why we love the chat, because their range of opinions is all over the map. It's beautiful.
One thing I think the chat does agree on is that Kyle Clifton is one of the best callers into the show.
100%. Yeah, if anybody is not saying that Kyle is one of the best callers, get Beast on to quote the whole video.
Pat Rich says, a lot of people put a lot of importance on what Gary says.
See, that's the problem, is we got to just let Gary get his takes off. And if he's right, he's right. If he's wrong, he's wrong. There's some things I certainly agree about with Gary that's controversial. But then there's obviously stuff that I don't agree with. So, I mean, you just got to let Gary get his takes off. Probably less combative, because we know what happens. You start talking and it's just yelling. But, yeah.
Pat says that Gary definitely lives rent-free in Dave Brigger's head.
I think there's a lot of chat members that live rent-free in other chat members' heads for sure. I mean, you got Beast and Bobby Beasley, Gary and a lot of these guys. I mean, the Neil crowd and all them, like they're going at it with each other. I'm sure they're bitching to their wives about, oh, that Neil, what did he say to me today on YouTube? Like, I'm sure that those are all talks in everybody's respective houses, but that's part of being in the community, right? Like, that's what brings us all together at the end of the day. We're here for the Jets, but if we can get these little side dramas happening too, that's even better.
I always say this show is about the Jets and the lives of Jet fans, and we certainly know a lot about the callers of the show.
We sure do, and somebody likes to expose himself a little more than some callers. Charles.
Nate says B-Mac and Gary share a bed in Brigger's head. A lot of opinions on this. Now, before we bring on our next caller, Dylan, you made reference to something that occurred over the weekend on the Bobby Midnight program. I get new listeners all the time, so I'm aware that some of you maybe have seen this clip. Some of you have not, but I'm going to play it because this is the first time we've had Dylan on since the incident, and we got to get his reaction to what occurred on the 24-hour Robert Woodruff live stream.
Hi, Charles. Hey, guys. You're all dressed up.
He can't stand up. He's taking a shit.
Are you in the bathroom?
Bathroom, bro.
Yes, I'm in the bathroom, Bobby.
Are you taking a dump? Are you taking a dump?
You can have that crap.
That man was way too concentrated.
He couldn't show the fit because his pants were around his ankles.
I'm not having that shit again. Charles, you're not coming in anymore until you get that.
Indubitably.
Yo,
What happened?
He's in the bathroom calling my show again.
I don't want to see that.
Oh shit, man.
Anyway,
I don't come in to take a shit on your show. Charles, do never ever come on my show getting in the crapper, okay?
My bad. Anyway, I just want to stop by and say hi. Sorry about the bathroom incident.
Dylan, your thoughts on Kaplunkgate?
Oh, that's what we're calling it. That's you certainly hear that. Let's go around the whole panel. Jets Johnny, play recognition at 100, man. He spotted that right away. And I remember chatting with him the other day. He was like, I recognize a bathroom from anywhere. So that's good call out, good play recognition. Addison with probably the best laugh on YouTube. Lane asking what happened and then going, anyways, like that's classic Lane, like trying to get off the topic. Kyle Clifton, who we just talked to. I mean, the glasses, man. Like somebody called him Morpheus in the chat the other day. I just started dying. Like, how did you get wrapped up in all that? And then, I mean, Bobby Midnight saying, I don't come on your show to take a shit. Like that's why not? Why don't we play battle shits, Bobby? Like go on Charles' show, and when he's talking about his superheroes and lovely ladies, just slip in a kerplunk of your own. But Gorman, man, golly, that's tough, man. How do you, what makes you think that is the time when you're all out, pants around your ankles in a public restroom, not just your own, to say, hey guys, how's it going? Like, what if somebody in the stall next to you was listening over? Like, I could not imagine if hopefully it's a one-person bathroom, but the door was open. So like, it wasn't a matter of he was being private. So we know Gorman, we know too much about Gorman's lifestyle right now. And it's a little concerning, but it seems to be a shtick for him, I guess.
Marcus writes in, it sounds like Gorman lost one of his major organs from the sound of Chuck goes, did I hear battle shits? You did. Sharon says Dylan fits in too well. Dylan's the man. Barbarossa, LMAO. He was in a public restroom.
That's what it looked like. It looked like a restaurant bathroom, and it looked like he was at like some kind of function. And that's quite the choice by Charles.
On that note, here's an Asmaniac super chat from Tony. What's good with the win-loss prediction video on the Jets, Jake? We'd love to see your breakdown. Who you think we beat and lose and why? Tony, I appreciate it. I usually don't do that until we get much closer to the season, just because, like, what good is a win-loss video on May 22nd, for example? Like, we don't know who's going to get hurt, unfortunately, over the summer. Are the Jets going to make any other additions? Or some of these rookies going to really impress us that, you know, maybe our outlook changes? I just feel like so much could happen, even though the roster, for the most part, is established. So
yeah, it's May. Let's just give surface level predictions on the record: 7 wins, 6 wins, 10 wins, 12 wins. Some people are saying, but I think once you get into August and you kind of find out more about these teams, because not just from a Jets perspective, things can happen. From another team's perspective, things can happen.
Right.
What if the Steelers don't sign Aaron Rodgers? What if Dak Prescott gets hurt before week 5, or, you know, just little things like that. You just never know what's going to happen. So you probably play that game closer to August once we see the pads come on in camp and you can really get a feel for this team. But just watching Justin Fields throw in like shells with a GoPro on, it's hard to say we're going to beat or lose to any team at this point. They're all winnable games to a degree, other than the 4 we mentioned before, but why not, you know? So it's tough to do the win-loss-win game.
All Sports Carlos checks in. The show needs Gary. Hashtag Team Gary 3D Boxing. I agree. Like I'm very pro Gary on the show. I enjoy the battles with him. I think it's fun. I just love that he could never just he could never just be like, you know what, I'm wrong, or there's new information. When I said that, I felt this way. Now, after looking back on it, yeah, my opinion has changed. Like my opinion changes constantly with new information. Like, you don't have to be so stubborn, but Gary's Gary. And
literally 4 days ago, I did a video on my channel at Dylan Tereman on YouTube, shameless plug. And I did 3 underrated Jets on offense and defense. And on defense, I talked about Will McDonald. And I said, I don't think he's a 3-down player in Aaron Glenn and Steve Wilkes defense because of his size. Now, Aaron Glenn spoke to the media and willingly gave us that he added 15 pounds. So the expectation at 255 or 253, whatever he weighs now, maybe even higher, that's going to change. And now you're going to be looked at as more of an edge-setting presence on first down, opposite Jermaine Johnson, whereas we thought maybe Tyler Barron or Michael Clemens was going to have to occupy that role, and that scared the hell out of everybody. So with new information, yes, your expectations should change, and that's part of this whole process. You can't stay definitively locked into one one take or one narrative for too long because this game changes on a daily basis.
I'm just laughing as you're giving like a legit Jets take there, and then there's a back-to-back comments of Bobby and Charles, the Splash Brothers, and then Thunderlips writes the second Charles puts a StreamYard link on his live stream. I'm calling from the shitter. Just
maybe we all should do that, right? We don't have to be pooping, but like just sit on your toilet. The lid could be down. We don't care. Shorts could be up. We don't care.
Yeah.
But like just call in to Charles' show just give him the view from behind your toilet and see how many callers he takes before he gets the hint.
Unreal. Devin says, Jake, do you have a bet discount code? I'm going to bet the over wins. What's up, Dylan? Great takes as always. I will enjoy a 12-5 season. Agree, Jake. Must win. I'm not on 12-5, Devin, but I hope you're right, because that would be incredible if a team that has not won more than 7 games in a decade wins the most amount of games they've ever won in a regular season, ties the 98 team. So sign me up for that. As far as do I have a bet discount code? Not currently. We had a relationship with Underdog that was through the NFL season. So right now I don't have any promo code for any sports book. So if any of you out there work for a sports book and you want to sponsor the Jake Asman show, I'm available.
Maybe I'm misremembering this, but was the 10-win season in 2015, was that Bowles' first year on the job?
Was. Yep.
Okay, so like there's more optimism if you want it. Like with new things doesn't necessarily mean, oh, we're not going to win any games. We're not even going to look competitive. We're so far away from being an NFL roster. No, you just get the right guy in there. And I mean, a lot of things happened in 2015 for us to get there, but we had 2 1,000-yard receivers, a 1,000-yard rusher, a quarterback with a broken jaw who got replaced by a quarterback who ended up throwing the passing touchdowns record on a season. So like, we don't know anything. Obviously we can hope that it's good, but to sit here and just immediately write off Aaron Glenn and Darren Muji and everybody that's come in, it's hard to do.
Let's see. Super chat from Rick Kent. Then we get back to your calls here. I read in the New York Post that Buffalo will be on Hard Knocks in August. I don't want to watch that. Yeah, the Bills were selected as the Hard Knocks team. I watch Hard Knocks every year. I enjoy it. There's some seasons that are obviously better than others. It is what it is. The Bills have some interesting players, some interesting storylines. So I like the Bills, but I get any Jet fan not wanting to watch it.
Yeah, I think it'll be interesting to see like what we can glean from the episodes, like behind the scenes of the Bills, anything about their roster that might not, stick out to us, and like kind of do a little bit of, scouting when you're watching it, just figure out a little bit more about the Bills. So I don't hate it that it's the Bills. I mean, who else was it going to be? Probably another team that we don't care about because it's not going to be the Jets. But yeah, Buffalo, I can see a lot of fans, Jets fans specifically, not wanting to tune into that. And then the in-season is the NFC East, and that one looks really good. The in-season Hard Knocks looks a lot better than the training camp.
The Giants back on Hard Knocks. What will Joe Shane say that will be used against him on the internet for years to come?
Can we meme John Morrow one more time? Like his head in his hands. I can't see Saquon in Philadelphia. Oh, don't worry. Chicago's running up that price. Philly's not going to be in the market for Barkley, but surprise, surprise.
Oscar wants to know, are you a fan of Beast or do you not care for his antics?
Beast is another one. I got love for Beast. I mean, he makes the show what it is.
Shut up!
when we get to the latter portions of the episodes, Beast is always going to be featured. I'm really excited and like kind of intrigued to see how this whole Bobby Beasley thing plays out. I want to see what kind of, shoe salesman attorney he can pull out, because we got Bonesy, and I think that's way better than anything Beasley can do. I'm interested though on Monday to tune in to see exactly what these accusations are against Beast. But for now, I like Beast. I mean, I did the whole Curie high school prom in 2005. I went through all the pictures. I didn't see Bobby Beasley. So, I mean, there's some truth to what Beast is saying, but maybe there's some truth to what Bobby is saying. I think it's hilarious that Beast runs and hides like quicker than anything when Beasley comes on. So like, it's not really helping your case. Like stand up and fight, just fight back, Beast. But it seems like he likes to run when Beasley's on.
But don't worry, because he's got the best attorney a man can have.
Are you an actual lawyer or what, man?
Yeah, I am a lawyer. Asmaniacs.
Bonesy.
Dancing.
Oh, I'm dancing. I'm singing. I'm dancing. My boss laughs at me every day when I laugh and I sing along to all these caller intro songs. He's like, "What the hell are you doing?" I'm like, it's the podcast. It's all good.
I sing a lot at the shoe store.
Let me get a Kyle Clifton out of you real
Yeah,
quick.
I love the Kyle Clifton. Bro.
Clifton! Not this one, but that one. God, I love
it.
Gator today, when the whole Gary shit was going down, Gary was talking about leaving the chat, and Gator writes in the chat, I left the Discord because Kyle Clifton types a lot. Gator's the best, man. Speaking of Gary, listen, I've hung out with Gary multiple times in real life, and he is an awesome dude. Like, he's thoughtful. He brought me cannolis. You know, I kicked it with him the whole time at the Long Island Jake party. Even afterwards, me, Gary, and taking Jay Quest, we went home. Jay Quest dropped us off at the train. Like, I spent a lot of time with Gary, and he's a good dude. And when he comes on here, he's very, he's Gary, right? But the only thing I will say that Gary takes a little too far is, especially like today, when the reason why he left the Discord. It's like, I'd rather him be like, listen, I left the Discord because you guys got all these guys in there attacking me, and I'm spending too much time talking to you fools. Or give me something else besides, like, the guy asked me for oral. It's like, dude, you are not that literal. I was today on the phone with my dad, right? On the way into the train. And I said, Dad, I lost my plumber. He moved to Australia. That's Hawk, who was going to come and do all my plumbing for me and give me a great price. So I might need to borrow a couple G's to fix everything. And he goes, suck my D. And I'm just like, what do you say? Oh, Dad, it's not nice to say. It's like, come on, man. Go fly a kite. Go play in traffic. Like, these are Bobby Midnight things. Like, that's when it's just like, Gary, come on, don't be that literal and don't act like that much. Like, come on, dog. Give me something else besides you're not that literal, bro. But I love Gary, and he is who he is. But
he's a great man. I've met him in person a couple times too.
I would love to meet Gary. I think we would get along more than it seems like. Just based on what I'm saying, Gary and I would get along. There's a lot I agree with Gary with.
Kyle Clifton, I won't apologize for my ability to express myself in Reddit.
Character limits for Kyle Clifton in the Discord.
He types a lot. It's so funny.
My Jets takes, after listening to everyone talk, and Garrett and Quinnen and even John Simpson and Cisco and all the guys, I listen to all the things. One thing that I don't like that everyone's saying is how quiet Justin Fields is. It's like, they're all saying the right thing. They're spinning it the right way. Like, why is everyone so caught up on him being so quiet? Like, you can spin that the right way, say, oh, he's here to do hard work, and, he's but I still feel like you need your quarterback more to be a little more, the heart of the team. So that's one thing I did see, that even everybody is saying that Justin Fields is very quiet.
Well, Glenn's raving about his leadership, saying that he's leading by example and he's authentic. I mean, the bottom line is this. That's fine. I don't know, why is there an echo now all of a sudden?
Is it me?
If you win, nobody cares. If Fields plays well and they win, he's going to get a ton of praise. Like, there are great leaders in sports that aren't, loud and rah-rah, and it works as long as you produce.
Agreed. I just thought it was funny that everybody's saying the same thing. So hopefully that is what it is. He just leads by example, kind of like CJ Mosley style. But normally you kind of come with success already in the past when you lead by example, where Fields is coming in as a journeyman quarterback who has proven to us that he could throw a deep ball and he could run when he's healthy, but he really can't throw well over the middle. So, Glenn keeps tripling down on, we're going to let him play quarterback. And I'm very interested to see how everything goes, especially with Glenn's just confidence. And I keep saying it, the reason why I even have a little bit of optimism this year is because when you are as, confident and you have that bravado about you, you're either like a complete fraud, like poker player, like you suck and like you just put on an act, or you're all right, you're pretty good, like you're confident in yourself because you're good at your job. So I'm very excited to see that portion of it, because even when you listen to Quinnen and everyone's saying about Glenn, it's like even Quinnen, when someone asked him about when he said about here comes another rebuild when we let go of Rodgers, like he even gave his definition of like why, like, well, now after speaking to Glenn and seeing what's going on, we are, if we get this thing rolling, like, so, I'm helping 3 people. Come on, wrap it up. Really? Oh, Joe Bonesy's helping 3 people. There was no one in when I first called in. Literally, no one. Now there's 3 people who need help. So
business is booming, baby. Alden's, the shoe store / law firm, for the people, by the people.
And I will be ready for Monday. I'm not going to comment on my client, but we are ready, motherfuckers.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Bonesy, attorney at law. Super chat from Bino. Gary's like that crazy uncle everyone has. Super chat from Nate. If Asmaniacs talking about Gary all the time makes him a superstar, does him talking about Mikal Bridges all the time, by his logic, make Bridges a superstar? Ladies and gentlemen, let's ask the man himself.
Joe Douglas should have been fired 2 days before he was hired.
Gary, your thoughts?
On this question?
Yes.
I didn't bring Bridges up. So if you say he's a superstar, and if you want to treat me like I'm on the same level of superstar as an NBA player who makes $25 million a year, you can put me on that level. That's fine, Nate. That's
You're a $25 million man, Gary.
I guess so, right?
Gary,
so says Nate. Yeah.
What are your thoughts on the reaction to what the fireworks from the first show today?
I didn't even think it was anything out of the ordinary. Like, that just seems like it's a Tuesday on the show at this point. Like, I didn't think it was anything special. Like, I just thought it was another episode. Like, I didn't know you guys would be talking about it later on. And they were telling me in the Discord I got to call in again. I was like, I don't have the energy to come. I'm not a young man anymore. I'll be 42 in a couple of months. I ain't got the energy to keep doing this. Like, I fought one 12-round fight today. I'm not fighting another 12-round fight today.
Oscar writes in, Gary's a top 5 caller, argue with a wall, which Gary can do, ironically. Well, I mean, Gary's proven to be at least a top 4 caller because he was in the Final 4 in Asmaniac Madness.
Yeah, I won what was on paper the hardest region. I think the description that Kyle Clifton gave of me, where he used the word strident, I think that's fair. I think strident. The set in his ways things. I mean, I know what I know to be true. What I don't know, right? But like, say I'm set in my ways. Do you think I grew up thinking that vegetables are bad for you and the food pyramid is inverted? Or do you think I learned that later in life after going through some struggles? Like, I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, do you think I was taught that people walked on the moon? Or do you think I looked at that and like, this thing adding up to me? Do you think, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't change according to the facts? Right?
How do you feel about the title, The Mayor of Narcissistville?
I don't, okay. See, where's the lack of empathy?
I'm just reading the comment here.
I'm just asking a question to Yo Holmes, but to everyone. Where's the lack of empathy? Without a lack of empathy, there's no narcissism. That is one of the 2 defining characteristics: a grandiose image of yourself and a lack of empathy. If there's no lack of empathy, there's no narcissism. So where's the lack of empathy?
Joshua says, "Where's the evidence of a 12-round fight? Don't you have to prove that?"
It's on the first stream. It's on the first stream.
It was definitely a 12-round fight. That was a long battle between you and Gypsy, for sure.
Sure. What are your thoughts on Black Gypsy? Who do you think? So let's update the rankings of people that hate you the most. Do you think Black Gypsy has leapfrogged Dave Briga or
No,
Jets?
I don't think Gypsy hates me at all.
He said he wants to punch you in the face if he sees you.
He said that?
Yeah.
I think you might have been off the chat, maybe, but
maybe he hates me. I mean, he can come see me and we can see how that works out for him.
That might have been Allen. He said he wanted the punch in the face, or maybe he definitely said that.
I think
but
it
did he
was
also-
Allen. I think
Oh, it was Allen. Okay. I knew you weren't on screen, so I didn't know if it was you or.
But if he wants to put hands on me, Texas is a mutual combat state. You can catch these hands if you want. You can come see me if you want. Like I'm not going to start a fight, but I swear to you, I'll finish every one of them.
So you would be open for a duel?
If he wants to put hands on me, I want to start an app. Tell me what you think about this app, right? It only can work in Texas and Oregon because they're mutual combat states. It's like DoorDash, but for people who want to get into a street fight, right? So like you say, I'm here, right? And I want to get into a fight. And then the app finds people in your local area who also want to get into a fist fight. And you pay $5 a month or whatever for the service. So you can find people in a mutual combat state who also want to fight with you for $5 a month. What do you think of my app idea, Jake?
I'm in.
All right, let's do it. I just need a developer to come up with the software.
What do you think?
Sounds cool to me, man.
What do you think of this comment here from Thunderlips? He goes, I don't think Brigga hates Gary. He's not pleased Gary questioned his religion.
What is his religion? The moonwalk? Like the landing on the moon is his religion?
Hawk says Gary is not a narcissist. He's just Italian.
I think that's a fair assessment.
Lumpy says that you're empathetic about the moon landing.
It doesn't. I don't know. Empathy means I'm relating to the feeling that you've been there before. I can empathize with what you're going through. I've been there, and I empathize. I don't know what that means exactly, Lumpy.
Skills Baby says narcissists like Gary learn to fake empathy.
You know, I'll stand up for Gary because in the chat earlier today, I said that empathy might be one of the traits that Gary actually possesses. Not saying you don't possess the other ones, but from what I know about you, I've seen you say, you know, things that are empathetic to people in the chat, like you mentioned about Charles and everything like that. So I actually did stand up and say that empathy might be one of the traits that you do possess.
Yeah, it's a complete ridiculous statement. I spend 3 days a week in my off time either doing Bible studies with juvenile offenders or handing out food to homeless people. Like I lack empathy. Oh, okay, yeah, all right. That's what I lack empathy. Yeah, that's the one.
Peacebreaker says that he's more powerful than you, Gary. Your thoughts?
Could he bench more than me? Probably. Can he do more push-ups than me? Probably not.
Who'd win in a duel, though? That's really what it comes down to.
Oh, I'm going to be quicker to the draw than him.
You think?
Yeah, I do.
Let's head to the lair and experiment a little further.
Right now, we're getting some gabagool. If you really want some gabagool, you got to come get the gabagool. Catch you later.
I'm pretty sure I could beat you to the draw, Umbre.
Kid, do you see what I'm doing? I have an ice pack on this shoulder. It's a little tender right now at the moment. You ever see one of these? Yeah. There's.
Well, that's more of a reason I could beat you to a draw. You got some kind of arm injury there.
Did you see me playing pool today, or are you gonna stand here and?
I didn't see. I wasn't. I was listening. I know you were playing pool, but I didn't see. I will also grant you that I love playing pool.
What's more better? What's more better? Watching paint dry or putting up with Gary on his crazy Lost in Space tracks going, danger, Will Robinson, danger, Will Robinson. Yeah, something you don't remember, Gary. You don't remember. You don't remember that show, do you? Lost in Space.
I've heard of the show. I don't remember. I don't know if I ever saw it. I know the name of the show. I don't remember ever seeing it.
This is gonna be a long day, isn't it? Long day. You know, I go out and I play pool for about 20 minutes, and then I go to work, cut grass for $25. Boy,
how's the grass?
Yeah, easy as pine tar, and then went over to Graciano's and got me a nice calzone for about $7.
What happened to the diet, Beast? I thought we were doing a diet.
I'm having fun. You know why? I'm gonna ignore the bad behavior, and I'm going to not put up with child behavior. That's child behavior. That's below subpar garbage. And I'm going to not be here Monday. I'm going to be with my family, and I got a bathtub to fix. So
what about Beasley?
Who cares? It's nothing more.
We'll move the trial to Tuesday if we have to.
You know what? As I've said before, this is nothing more than you know what this looks like? A fishing expedition.
I don't know what that means.
It's a fishing expedition. You know what fishing?
No.
You sit on a boat with a fishing rod and you go, you're just going fishing. Yeah, that's fishy. Not interested. As I put, no interest, no deal, no go, no chance. And plus, my therapist has already said, just ignore him. He ain't worth the effort anyway. Plus, I have to worry about blood pressure and child behavior like that from him. He's a child.
Is
I'm more
Bonesy
grown.
also your therapist?
No, Bonesy's a lawyer. I got my own therapist.
I heard that you
emotional
called
support
Bonesy
buddy.
today.
Hey, it's called business. Business is business. And Peter Castro, you want to keep making cracks about my little boy? You know what? I'm not going to waste 1 ounce of space on you because you're dust. You're like the dust that I clean off my thing today. Oh, and the DVD came back today, Mr. Jake. I'm gonna have to resend it again.
What do you mean? The DVD that you sent to Yankee Stadium came back to you?
It came back today. It came back today. I already took a look at it, and it was
everything in there that you sent?
Yeah, was the money in there?
Was the money in there?
We're gonna resend it again, and I'm going to resend it. I'm going to resend it on Saturday.
1600 Penn Plaza.
Wait
To
a
the garden.
second. Time out. 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue is Donald Trump country.
No. Penn Plaza.
Send it on the other thing where I can get a better understanding, because how am I supposed to get an understanding if I can't get the lettering correctly and everything else? And Peter Castro, you know what?
Sorry, I got the address wrong.
You know what FU stands for in the 1980s? This. That's how we
Don't
used
hurt
to
your
do it back
shoulder.
in the 80s.
Beast, it's for Penn Plaza. That's my fault.
That's okay. Shit happens. Just send it in the other thing. Don't worry about it.
All right.
You know what? I'll ask Jay Quest to I'll send it to him, and then we'll do a little,
So wait a second. You're gonna send this DVD to Jay Quest first.
Yeah, and then have Jay Quest send it to you. Like
Okay.
kind of like a forward pass. A little pass there, and then boom, boom, boom. You know what?
You can't have two forward passes, Beast.
What?
You can't have two forward passes. You can't pass it to Jake,
yeah.
and then he can't pass it to Jake. That's not how that works.
What I'm doing is I'm setting up a screenplay from Jay Quest to give it to Jay Quest, and then Jay Quest to there. That's like a little bit of a.
He's saying the screen pass is not a forward pass. It's a backwards pass,
to
and
Jay
then he can
Quest.
throw a
Yes.
forward pass.
I gotcha.
Well,
So Beast.
Nobody's perfect. Hey, I'm not perfect. We're not perfect. Nobody's perfect. We're all just the same. You know why we're all just the same? It's because of who we are and what we are. We're all Americans.
So between the 20 minutes of you playing pool and the, let's say, 45 minutes of you cutting grass to make $25, how did you put farmer in the byline of your name?
Because
down
I
there?
work. I've been doing this since I was 17. See, since I was 17, I've done a lot of great things. I've taken care of a lot of good things. I cleaned up the streets, get out of the garbage, taking care of it every single October, November for the last many, many years.
Do you crime fight?
I put in thousands and thousands of pounds of garbage in and sent it on its way packing. See, that's
Farmers
called
do that?
up here.
Yeah, he was.
Hey, everybody does it. You know why? Because everybody works for one reason. For this. Down here.
He's
I work
farming.
for money.
He was living in Chicago. He's working
You
the
know what
farms
this
of
is?
Chicago.
Gary, do you know what this is down here? What is this? Answer the question, Gary. What is this?
Is that your heart?
Blubber.
Ding
Blubber?
dong. Ding dong. Oh, here's $1,000 question. The answer is.
That's a lot of gardening. $1,000.
The answer is for $1,000. The question is, which high school did that fraud go to?
You said the name of it. I don't remember.
No,
I
I'm
don't
gonna
remember.
see how much. I want to test your ability. I want to test.
I don't remember. I don't. By the way, speaking of high school, I just asked Morgan how much her prom was.
Try
She
at
said,
least. At least try. Show me something. Try it.
all right, Byron Nelson. Byron Nelson High School. Carrollton ISD.
Sorry, that's incorrect.
All right, I was wrong. I tried. Yeah,
Bobby
tried.
Beasley Academy. Bobby Beasley Academy.
Wrong. The correct
Curie
answer,
High School.
There you go. Curie High School.
The correct answer is no. It is Oak Creek High School.
Oak Creek High School.
Ah.
I
I think Carmelo Anthony went there.
Well, unfortunately, Peter Castro. You know what? Bye, boy. In the words of NSYNC, you know what? Bye. Yeah. Something you don't know nothing about from 1999. Yeah. NSYNC used to be a hit. Yeah, they're dead now.
I was more of a Backstreet Boys guy, Beast.
You mean Backstreet's back? All right.
Dan.
Yeah, hey.
And that's Oak Hill Academy, Jake. Carmelo went to Oak Hill Academy.
I got the Oak part right.
Who remembers Big Punisher who used to crush a lot? Whoa. Time out. This fake B-Max says the Knicks suck. Hey, asshole. I got news for you, SA. You just made a trip to the hole. In the words of certain people, go get your last check. Bye-bye. Adios, señor el pelota. Get ready for the landing.
In 1993, and 94, and 95. Hey, Beast. In 93, and 94, and 95, when the Knicks played the Bulls in the playoffs every year, who'd you root for?
93 was
No, you heard me.
Jordan left.
94,
Jordan left
95.
after the final season. The Knicks started getting hot because look who the Knicks had. They had Starks. They had Oakley.
I didn't ask you the Knicks started getting hot. I said, who did you root for in the playoffs those years? The Knicks or the Bulls?
You let me finish.
But 92, 93, 94.
Let it finish, Gary. Let it finish.
So I want to answer the question, and then you can tell me the Knicks got hot.
Did I ask a simple question from you?
No, I asked the question. You answered some different questions.
You know what? Briggle is right about one thing. You are a real pain in the ass today. You know what? If I was your father, I swear to God, I would go get the boot. And you know what? I'd tell you the old Red Foreman treatment, which is called, don't make me shove my foot up your ass. Because, I don't need to be breaking my foot. It's bad enough I barely can crawl out of bed in the morning. Don't you ever
So in
learn
92,
that?
93, 94, when the Knicks played the Bulls in the playoffs every year, who'd you root for?
92, 93 was the Jordan era. I was the Jordan guy. And then when Jordan left to go play for the White Sox,
94.
The Knicks were the hot team. Who did the Knicks have? They had Starks. They had Oakley. They had Ewing. They had Smith. They also had Harper. They also had, they had other guys as well. I can't think of it, but it'll come to me because I haven't played NBA Live in such a long time. I don't play video games as much as I used to. I'm very busy with Price is Right Bingo, Monopoly Go, and other things in life. Don't you ever find anything to do? Like, why don't you?
So in 92 and 93, you rooted for Jordan and the Bulls. In 94, when the Knicks beat him, did you root for the Bulls or the Knicks?
I was going Knicks after that, after Jordan left to go.
So
play
what
for the
made you
White
transition from rooting for the Bulls to rooting for their arch nemesis? Like what just Jordan retiring?
Because I was watching closely, you butt munch. Don't you read newspapers? Why don't you go outside and go build a garden?
How do I know what caused you to change your allegiance from the Bulls to the Knicks?
Will you let me stink and finish? Besides,
I mean, you can respond to the question.
You're blowing a lot of hot breath. Shut up! You're blowing some hot breath today. You know what's better? Watching grass grow than putting up with a klutz like you. You're a klutz. I mean, sometimes I wonder, did you ever get tripped on your head when you were a kid? Or you
Did I
just
ever get tripped on my head as a kid? I don't know. I'm not sure how you get tripped
you're
on
brain
your head.
dead. You're completely brain dead. And you wonder why you're brain dead? Let's look at the numbers. Your numbers lately have been kind of like the Titanic. Once it hits the iceberg, unfortunately, when it hits, it goes like a big fart. And except when I fart real hard. See, I don't force mine out. Sometimes I do when I can't breathe or move. That's why I don't do certain things on things. So let me just say this one time. When I go take a dump, I do it in private. You know why?
Would you silence, or should I do one of these?
See that now that's comedy right there. But here's the difference. Do I take a dump on TV? No. That is called do it in private.
So, Beast, you would never call it to the Bobby show on your toilet, to be clear.
No, thanks. I'm not interested in that. In the words of George Carlin, I'm not interested. Not interested. You know what? That's against my interest.
Well said.
And guess what I found today while I was at the thrift store? 2 King of Queens DVDs.
Wow.
2 King of Queens.
Are you going to send those to Yankee Stadium as well?
No, You think I'm gonna give Kevin James and Leah Remai a boot? No, those are 2 of my favorites. Leah Remai, pretty chick. Kevin James,
Remini.
ass kicker.
Thank you.
In her prime, Saved by the Bell, King of Queens, Leah Remini, 1 to 10. What are you giving her? 9? She's a solid 9, right?
A solid 11
Easy
is
9.
more like it.
Fair.
11.
You know
The
why?
scale
You know
only
why
goes
she's a
to 10.
solid 11? Because she's strict, she's smart, and she's tough. See, that's what our countries are missing. You know why? That's why our country misses some of this stuff, because today's world is backwards. See, I picture you as the exorcist, you know. There's an example of you there, Gary. The Exorcist. Did you ever watch The Exorcist when you were a kid?
Pretty good impression.
Let me ask you this
think
one.
so.
Adriana
Yeah.
from The Sopranos in her prime or Leah Remini in her prime? Who you got between the Italian broads? Leah Remini in her prime or Adriana from The Sopranos in her prime? Who you got? Who you like?
Adriana's second best because she has a cute face. Can't take nothing away from her. She got the right style, but she's Italian. She's Italian, and
But so is
she's
Leah
smart.
Remini.
And
That's why I was pitting them against
Leah
each other.
Remini is an American. She's cute. She's smart. She knows what she's doing, and she doesn't play to BS. And if
Hey,
anyone
Beast, what are your
doesn't like
thoughts
what
on
you can
Rachel
take-
Ray? That's Gary's dream woman.
Rachel Ray. What? What?
You guys don't understand. You guys don't understand
the
the assignment.
You know what my grandfather would have said, Gary, right to you? What are you smoking dope? Are you smoking dope or what? Because if you're smoking dope, I don't know what to tell you.
I mean, your grandpa would have married a chick like Rachel Ray.
My grandfather was 93 years old. He
And
had a tough time in
Rachel
life.
Ray. He would have married a mild
No, he
mannered,
wouldn't.
submissive
No,
woman
he
who cooks and
wouldn't.
cleans.
My
Yes, he would have.
grandfather knows better because my grandfather grew up well. He had a
No
Polish
better than
mother.
what to-
Will you let me finish? Will you let me finish their butt munch? You know, you remind me. You know who you definitely remind me of in a big way. Not Tom Anderson, but that winger guy. You know, that little steward from Beavis and Butthead going, guys, can I play with you guys? No. Hey, Beavis, Stewart wants to play with us and something. No, I can't. That guy's a weirdo. That's what I was thinking, Beavis. What a dumbass. See, Gary, I like to see you do Beavis and Butthead too. You know, I grew up with Beavis and Butthead. I also grew up with Alf. I even grew up with Army of Darkness. Who do you think's got the top toys over here? I paid good money for all my stuff because number one, it's a smart investment. And also, it's common sense. That's what you need to go do. That's what you really need to go do. Go to the library and go pick up a book and read a book. Or not, if not that, why don't you go outside, go dig a couple holes and put some vegetables in your garden?
No vegetables. No vegetables.
I forgot you're afraid of vegetables because you're one word.
I'm not afraid of vegetables. I just don't eat vegetables because they're trying to kill me.
You're chicken. You are chicken. And you know why?
I'll
We're
eat
going to tell
chicken,
you
no
the same thing.
vegetables.
Get off your big ass. Go spend $100 on some fruits and veggies and be a man. Be a man for once in your life.
No vegetables.
And
I am comfortable in saying I will never eat another vegetable again.
Spine already. Let me tell you something.
Why would I eat a vegetable? Why would I eat a
Because
vegetable?
it's good for you. Why don't you
No,
try
it's
it once
not.
in a while?
It's
Well,
not.
how about
It's
eat a
toxic.
salad?
It's filled with
How about eat a
anti-nutrients,
salad?
and
You
it's
ever hear of eat a salad, you turkey?
No salads. Salads are out. Unless you be like
And you
seafood salad, something
wonder
like
why
that.
Brigga can't stand you because your brains are dipped in ragu. Except where's the seasoning?
Beast,
Where's
you
the
eat
seasoning?
vegetables, right?
I wouldn't even trust you in my kitchen.
Beast,
I
you
wouldn't
eat
even trust
vegetables,
you
right?
in my kitchen. You probably would screw up one of the orders.
Beast, you eat
You
vegetables,
couldn't
right?
even cook a beef. You couldn't even cook a beef Wellington.
Beast, you eat
You
vegetables,
couldn't
right?
even cook.
Beast, you eat
I eat
vegetables?
plenty of them. I have corn. I got carrots. I like my corn and my carrots.
The evidence
Don't
is on
you
the
try
screen.
that?
Who's right here?
Wait a second. Because he has vegetables, all of a sudden that has everything to do with his overall body size. That's what you're saying, Gary?
Eating plants. Like if you just eat meat, you can live the Bobby.
I don't think it's the
you can live the
vegetables.
Bobby
My Beast
midnight
looks like the
lifestyle.
way he does.
Never get off your chair.
Might
and
be
if
the
you just
A&W
eat
he's
fatty
guzzling.
meat, you'll never gain weight. The weight will just fall off.
Brigga's
if
gonna
just
tell you
eat
the
meat.
same thing.
You really
what
can't
does
overeat
fatty
fat.
meat
You
got
really
to do
can't.
with staying in shape? What does that got to do with staying in shape? Are you stupid or something? You know what? How about I just go, son, and go?
When you ask a question,
or you just
what you should do is wait for the answer. When you ask a question, wait for the answer. Yeah.
You know what? I like to see you try wearing a straw hat and working for once. But unfortunately, you know what? In the words of the one guy from Major League 2, I don't think you got enough hair on your ass to even do the job because you don't got the testicles to go toe-to-toe, nose-to-nose, man-to-man, one-on-one in a real man's garden. I like to see you try. But until then, you're just a little boy with small little brains and small little thinking skills. Until you, and you know what? Come back.
Breaker 666. He's the man who would kick your ass, and then he's gabagoo.
The enemy of my enemy is my friend, or something like that. Because I think the chat rallied around Beast there because he was up against Gary.
Dude, he started that conversation. He mentioned Lost in Space. And then my brain was just in orbit for the rest of that call. Like, I have no idea what salient points Beast was trying to make at this point. Let the man answer the question that you asked him. just wild.
Cheeseman, Gary, greater than Beast. So Gary getting support from at least one listener. Thunderlips, Beast 2, Gary 0. Jets Johnny, the irony in this segment was palpable. Jeffrey says ass hair makes great fertilizer. Bill M. W. Gary. Dude, Bill, nobody hates Beast more than Bill M. I respect that level of hatred. Mr. Bigskins goes, I got shit to do today, but I can't turn this off.
It's like a car crash, man. I said it before. It's like a damn car crash. You gotta watch.
Unreal. RJ says, do y'all believe in blood sacrifices? Because the Pacers should not have won that way yesterday, let alone at all. And a semi-unrelated note, RIP Jim Irsay. How about the fact Jim Irsay's last tweet was his social media team wishing the Pacers good luck in the series too?
Yeah, that's a tough look. Did that happen before we knew for sure that he was passed? Or
he was dead already, but we didn't know that he was dead when the tweet was sent.
Yeah, that's tough. Definitely RIP. That's sad.
Big fella says Beast was on another level today. I'm his therapist. Oh, I didn't realize that you're the therapist. Beast, is this true?
Well, hey, I gotta give credit to the big fella. He helped me along the way. And don't worry.
Wait, so Bonesy's your lawyer and
Beast.
Beast, are you saying that Bonesy is your lawyer and Big Fella is your therapist?
Hey, I got to give credit for Big Fella. He helped me along the way. Get over the the anger and the BS and all the other political nonsense. That's why I channel out my anger and I just hear the words relax.
You know what you got to do, Beast.
Don't jump your gun. Just relax.
You got to lie in your bed right now as an homage to Big Fella.
How about we do one of these? Yeah. How about wait. How about we do a little Billy's on the bed? Billy's on the bed.
Oh my god.
Sing it.
Billy's on the bed. No room, baby. It's the big fella. He got the beard. He loves the Jets. It's the big fella.
He's home with Billy's on the bed. That's what feels good. On the road, Billy's on the bed. In a dirty hotel room. He calls the show, Billy's on the bed.
I'll say the real thing for when Big Fella calls in next, but that was a pretty good impression by Beast. Got to give it up.
Big Fella truly deserves Protector of the Year because I couldn't imagine Beast without therapy. And he definitely protects the Asmaniac community from getting full Beast unleashed on us.
Incredible. More calls right now. Ladies and gentlemen, let's say hello to PBM. Hello, Mike. Mike. Goodbye, Mike. Call back when you get better connection. Papa Jet is next. Hello, Papa Jet.
Hello, guys.
How's it going, Papa?
That is hard to follow, I'll tell you that. As us hillbillies would say, this morning, Jake, was a real humdinger. That was a good one. As far as Gary goes, I try not to judge. I think if you were his friend, not like this podcast friends, a friend, the vibe I get, I think he'd be there for you. I think he would go to bat for you. So I try not to judge. I know when I look in the mirror, I got quite a few things to work on. So, and Dylan, well, first, if Beast does not show up to the Beasley thing, he should never mention Beasley's name again, because he's the one that kept on bringing it up, and now when Beasley wants to confront him, he's got something to do. So if he don't show up, I don't want to hear Beasley's name ever again.
100%. Beast poked the bear one too many times. The bear came out of the cave. Beast went and hid in the little guinea pig cage with little Joey.
Yeah, he did. Hey, and Dylan, I'm pretty impressed. When I was watching one of your clips, you got a Black Sabbath autograph poster in the background.
Yeah, if Jake made me bigger, you'd see it right over my left shoulder here.
Yeah.
It's the autographed first album of Sabbath, the named album. Let's see. This is Bill Ward, Geezer Butler, Tony Iommi, and Ozzy Osbourne. It's number 106 out of 550. My stepdad got it in like the 70s. And truthfully, I don't even know if there's 550 of these still intact in circulation. So I was debating what to do with it. Maybe like sell it once Ozzy, passes. But it seems like his fans are dying faster than Ozzy is. That man is just truly immortal.
He's like Keith Richards. You just keep pumping heroin and they survive.
Yeah, exactly.
But that surprised me. Well, with a kid your age, I didn't think you'd have a Black Sabbath poster in the background. But
my stepdad had me on Black Sabbath and Iron Maiden when I was like 10, 11 years old. I was rocking out. So
yeah,
I started young for sure.
Led Zeppelin would have been a little bit better, but anyways.
Yeah, I like Stairway to Heaven. That's a good one.
Yeah, yep.
Yeah.
As far as Jets talk, I was reading an article a few days ago. I don't know what it is for reporters. I think sometimes they just feel they got to write an article to write an article. But it said that Isaiah Davis should be worried because of the kid that we got from Michigan, the free agent, because he was looking good in a couple days of practice. I mean, that don't make sense to me. Isaiah Davis, he looked pretty good when he was out there last year. I mean, why? And we could still carry four running backs, right?
Yeah. And honestly, I think the fourth running back should be Kenny and Nwangu, not Donovan Edwards. So, I understand people are kind of leaning into Donovan Edwards, but I would pick the three we had last year, Brees, Braylon, Isaiah, and then I would take Kene Nwangu as the special teams / running back because he also gives you that different element, I guess, kind of like what Izzy Abanikanda was to the running back room a couple years ago. And obviously it didn't work for Izzy, but Kene at least proved a net positive with the kick return against Seattle. So I would keep him over Donovan Edwards. I understand the allure of Donovan Edwards, but I don't maybe 2 years ago when Michigan was national champions, I would have liked that version, but it just seems like something happened last year where it didn't quite click for him.
Well, you know what? If he kicks ass during training camp and somebody don't look good, then do what you got to do. But to say it now, I just think it's ridiculous.
Yeah, he just needs to come in and make it as hard as possible for the coaches to cut him at this point. Right. And that's all he really can do. And everything else from there is left up in, kind of into God's hands.
Exactly. Hey, and Jake, before I go, just so you know, my wife came and slammed my door shut when the beast was clucking there.
So what he was doing, what?
Clucking or whatever the hell he was doing, the rooster or whatever call he was doing. Wasn't he doing a rooster call?
He was doing some kind of impression.
What sound effect were you doing?
Do the clucking there, Beast. Wasn't he going?
I'm doing review work. Give me a second, please.
Well, anyway,
he's watching.
My wife heard it all the way out in the living room. She came and slammed my door.
Hold on 1 second. 1, 2.
We're on delay.
I can only imagine how
what happened now?
Don't like Beast.
Weren't you clucking like a rooster earlier?
No, I was just doing some. I'm just doing some review work and
he did some Beavis and Butthead. That's what it was.
Oh, you're right.
Hey, Beavis and Butthead was one of the greatest cartoons, better than Daria. Daria was not my type. I'm sorry.
I don't know. Maybe I heard something different. When he was talking to Gary, he was making fun of Gary, and you were clucking like a damn rooster.
Oh, he called Gary a chicken. That's right.
He did call
so
Gary
he
a
was.
chicken.
Do it.
155
Beast.
pounds of what? What? He's 155 pounds of what? Ragu or malignant ooze.
Do the chicken noise.
Yeah, do the chicken noise.
Gas station pizza is better than a Big Mac.
Well, that's what he was doing, and the wife slammed my office door because she couldn't. She heard it all the way out in the living room.
Well, tell your wife we thank her for her service.
Yeah.
Having to
Talk to
explain
you later,
Beastbreaker to any spouse is probably very difficult.
She knows him because she always hears it. If she's around, she goes, "Oh my God," and she just shuts my door. So she knows him.
Shout out
We'll see you guys
to
later.
Mama Jet because she's the real hero.
Papa Jet and Mama Jet. Shout out to them. We tried to go to PBM before. His connection dropped out. I think we have him back now. What's up, PBM?
No, I'm driving back from West Hampton, so the service is kind of shitty.
We gave you quite the show, I would say, then, for your commute.
I know. I'm listening to it now. I got on at like 5:30 maybe. Still cutting in and out because I see it freezing on here, but hopefully my audio is not bad.
You sound good.
Hell yeah. All right, man. Dude, that Knicks loss killed me, man. Oh, that was a bad one. But after talking to some of my friends today, if it's going to happen, let it happen in game 1. It's better than it happening in game 5 or 6 when the games really, really matter the most. So at least there's that. I still think we're going to win, and I still think it's going to be 7 games, but we'll see what happens.
It sucked. There's no way around it, but all you could do is flush it. And I wish they were playing tonight, to be honest. Yeah, I wish we could just get back out there and try and
get the taste out of
erase
your
the
mouth.
feeling. Yep.
I actually got
I'll say this.
Sick at it.
I'll say this about the game. I don't have YouTube TV anymore. I pause it during the summer because I don't want to pay $80 for not football. But I genuinely wanted to renew my subscription to YouTube TV. And then I saw that I was really late into the game. There was like 30 seconds left, and the Knicks were up 5. And I was like, oh, Jake predicted they were going to win by 5 points. I was like, this is great. And I fell asleep with like 30 seconds left. I'm like trying to watch the game cast on ESPN. And then I wake up and I see all this shit about Halliburton and his dad dancing in the bar. And I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, how did this happen? And then I see how it happened. And I'm like, oh my gosh. I lean in a little bit to the Knicks, and look what happens. They do me like the Jets.
PTSD never escapes us.
Underrated. I noticed this when I was driving. When Beast got up, we all saw his ass. Did you guys notice that?
Oh, I said, oh.
I was like, holy shit.
Hey, Beast, is it a full moon in the attic?
Oh, time.
Doing his review.
Hold on 1 second. Let me unmute here.
He gave us a peep show.
Yeah, I was just doing a little whatchamacallit department. Let me move this here in a second here.
You have a lot of departments.
Yeah, well, I'm a department man. I like doing my own things my own way. Hey, Bill Parcells had an old saying too. Hey, if I'm gonna get fired, I'm gonna do it my way. That's the way it goes.
You ever hear the song "My Way" by Frank Sinatra, Beast?
Never heard that one, but I've heard Usher sing it a long time ago, back in the 98 or 99. Because I remember being on the box back in the day. But enough about the box, because the box that was my childhood era. That is long gone.
You love the box, Beast?
I was gonna say I'm a big lover of the box.
Back in the day, the box used to have good stuff. They had Metallica on there, they had Motorhead on there, they had all the great stuff. But it's just today's world is just it's strange. MTV is not what it used to be. I don't watch TV. TV is just another day.
Shut up! I'm glad he didn't even think about the box comment, and I'm glad you picked up on it, PBM.
Lumpy says Dylan might be the first analyst to be an actual Asmaniac. We love it. Dylan watches the show all the time, which is why it's perfect.
I'm a nice little twofer. I bring the Jets takes, but I also watch the show every single day when I'm at work. I got one headphone in, laughing my ass off, singing these intro songs, and my boss is, giving me shit because I'm stopping work to put a chat in the comments.
Who's your favorite Asmaniac?
My favorite Asmaniac? It's got to be JoJo. I got to show her love. Got to be JoJo. She shows me love.
JoJo
No,
never
there's so
calls
many
in.
people.
That's the next step. We got to get her to call in.
Oh, if you call in, JoJo, it might be over. No, there's a lot of them. You're up there. Every person that says something to me when I come in the chat and say good morning or how's everybody doing, they're all my favorites. So PBM, you're definitely up there. I certainly appreciate it. You shout me out every time. It's cool. I come in, it's a community. Everybody's super friendly. So I can't say I have one single favorite, but there's like a 10 spot of you guys that are all like lobbying for number one.
What about intro? There's got to be a favorite intro.
Ricky NY, call smoke and debate. You got to smoke and debate, man.
Jordan Travis.
Yep. At any rate, I call in a smoke and debate. Yep, that's got to be the number one. Number two,
Brigham.
I don't know, man. The Bonesy Lawyer song gets me hyped every time. Gotta call Bonesy. I've been in trouble with the law. I could have used Bonesy on my side when I was in high school. Dude, the intros, man, they just make it so much better. Yeah,
I want a therapy session with Big Fella. Hey Gator, work on a Big Fella therapist intro somehow.
Yeah, Beast laying on the couch, Big Fella laying belly up on or belly down on the desk, and he's just therapizing Beast. I don't even know what the word is, but he's just
crack out a little.
Mike, what hat is that? Thunderless
Jets.
wants to know. Jet
It's
hat. There it is.
Where does it say Jets? It says Jets on this
all
side.
over
Right here.
that side. Yeah.
Yeah. It's the
Now,
I think this was
before
a
you
draft
go,
hat like
Mike,
4 years ago or something.
I want you to look at the screen, but don't crash your car. Ladies and gentlemen, we have video evidence of cheeks being exposed on the program.
Yo, I can't do it. Oh, I love this show. I love this show.
Way too much. Way too much crack exposed, Beast.
It's so quick. It's so quick. Oh man.
Mike, have a safe ride back.
Thanks.
BBM, everybody. And as JD says, the moon has landed. Dana, I smell a new emoji.
You guys are so damn quick. It's incredible.
JT,
Soon
what a
that's gonna
time
be
to pop
somebody's
in.
like thumbnail on YouTube, and they're gonna call in. There's gonna be Beast's ass on the screen.
Could you imagine joining the show as that is on the screen?
Oh my god, this community is the best, man. I love it. You guys are truly A1.
Incredible. All right, a few calls left here, and then we'll wrap the show. Reminder to all of you that this week's raffle, if you're just joining us this week, you missed a lot. Sidewall Clyde Frazier jersey, signed Joe Namath jersey, and a signed CJ Mosley jersey. Those are the top three prizes in the raffle. Jets Jesus is up next. Hello, Jets Jesus.
What's up, fellas? It has definitely been a wild afternoon. I got caught up on the show and then went got caught up with the intro stuff and the topics and all, and then came in right at the beginning of right before you were talking to Gary and right before you brought Beast in, and I was just like, oh man, this is insanity.
It's been, both shows have been off the rails today, which is kind of insane for a Thursday in May when there's not much but some OTA stuff going on with the Jets right now.
Oh, totally. Yeah. No, for sure. The first show was a lot of fun. I listened to that this morning. My brain is scrambled after that one. I think Gator should do a compilation of everyone's laughter, of the laughter of all of the different Asmaniacs. As you guys were cracking up, and PBM's laugh was going, and then Jake's laugh was going, and like a little bit Dylan had one going. I was like, that's, I think, something that would be super fun. It's just comp of everybody's laughter, because there's definitely some good laughs, like good original laughs from people, and also obviously we're usually cracking up most of the time.
100%. That's a good idea.
I like
so,
that.
Yeah, I think that would be fun.
It would have to end with Addison's laugh, though, because his is like the penultimate laugh of all Asmaniacs.
Addison definitely has the best laugh of anyone that
it's
watches
contagious.
this show. I'm gonna play this clip, not to highlight Gorman, but everyone pay attention to Addison in the clip.
Oh. Yeah, that's a good one. I was gonna say, yeah, that laugh from that clip is so good because we've obviously all seen it a bunch. So, yeah, for sure. Man, Jake, that game last night was rough,
painful,
tough.
painful,
and
I still can't believe they lost. Like I've had to talk about it and like give opinions on it, and I've been asked about it, like not even just on this show, but just like all my like friends who are Knicks fans, and it's just like I can't believe I'm talking about a loss. Like they won that game, like it was over. I can't, man. I just thank God it's game one, and I'm gonna convince myself they're winning tomorrow night, and we'll go from there.
Yeah, it brought me back to my childhood of being a Knicks fan. I know now I've talked about it. I'm just at the point of rooting for them because I'm coming back. But yeah, I mean, I saw the Ewing missed finger roll. I saw the original Reggie Miller choke. Like that's when I was a fan of the team. Like I watched all of I would go to like for the games that were on the West Coast, I would go to sleep for like 2 hours and then wake up to watch the late games. Because I was living in New York still in those days, obviously. So like, yeah, it was, that was when I was full on a fan of the team, and that was what last night felt. And what little kid me needed was the talk that you gave on the first show. I mean, you weren't even swimming yet when those were happening, but when those games were happening when I was a little kid. But that was what little kid me needed. Little kid me needed that like input because it was good. It was really really good takes, and also like it felt good to hear because you're like, yeah, that's right. Like a lot of the game did go really well. There were all these things that fell in place for the Pacers. Like there are these these promising aspects of it, even amidst the disappointment.
Yeah, look, I think my feeling would be a lot different if it wasn't game one, and if the Knicks had not already been. Now, look, to be fair, they've never trailed in a playoff series yet in the postseason. So this will be a little uncharted tomorrow, right? You're down 0-1. It's an essential must win with your being at home, but they've responded to brutal losses these playoffs, and I think they're mentally tough. And there was a lot of good that happened last night. Like I think. Like, give credit to Indiana. I don't want to discredit their comeback, but they needed they needed basically everything to break their way, and the Knicks to fundamentally collapse for something like that to happen. Like, it was truly historic. It's never happened. A team down by that many with 2:51 to go, to win that game. So, like, if you want to trend positive, like, there was a lot that the Knicks did well last night that I think they could just play an extra 3 more minutes, and it's a different conversation. So, I don't know. I'm cautiously optimistic going into tomorrow. I still think it's going to be a long series either way.
Yep, and hopefully they come out of it with the right attitude. They should be angry now and realize they got to keep, whatever you want to call it, the foot on the gas the whole time, play to the end of the game, whatever all that stuff is. And, hopefully the Pacers get a little too full of themselves with stuff too. I could definitely see that being the case, especially they're a younger team. They were all rowdy at the end of the game and all that kind of stuff. So hopefully it plays in the Knicks' favor. It's for sure. It better. That's what 100%. And I missed the Stars comeback, so I was a little bummed out about that. I was all in on the Knicks game, and then I was like, kept getting notifications that the Stars were scoring and scoring and scoring, and I was like, yeah, bury the damn Oilers. That's what I want.
I missed it too. I mean, I was.
You were at the game, man. You're at the game. You should be all in on the event that you're at.
I was barely functioning. I still am in disbelief. I really am.
Heard. Oh, so yesterday on my call, I gotta whatever, make amends or whatever it is. I got all my stuff screwed up on when we were talking kickers, because it's the punter Kai Kroger that's got the highlights of throwing touchdown passes and all the fake plays and that kind of stuff, not the kickers that we were talking about. It was the punter. So
gotcha.
My bad on that yesterday, just to make the correction, is Kai Kroger.
Gotcha. All good. Jets Jesus, excellent call, sir.
Thanks, bud. Good to see you guys.
Love it.
Good to see you, man.
Jets Jesus checking in. Dylan, I got one call left. I know you might got to run to the bathroom though, so feel free, and I'll handle this last
10
one.
seconds.
You're good. 10 seconds. Damn. Dylan can whiz like the best of them. Ladies and gentlemen, Today's closer is none other than this guy.
I've got my eye on you. Checkmate me, full screen, bitch. Fireball, whiskey time, David motherfucking T.
Hey, Jake and Dylan.
What's up, David?
Hopefully the ladies checked out the Beast Cheeks and prospective girlfriends in the future. And I'd like to give Gary a compliment. You can't do your show without Gary. He's a really good guy, and he's intriguing. And he has an autistic son and great daughter, and kind of keeps his wife out of the mix. But
Great nanny.
great. Oh my gosh, she's so pretty.
Great vacuum.
And great vacuum. Yep, vacuum is a big thing. So I wanted to give Gary a compliment, and sometimes I walk away from Gary's comments and I'm like a bit confused, but he you can't do without Gary. And Dylan is my favorite. I mean, all due respect to all your people that you bring in, Jake, Dylan is my favorite, and I think it is because you two could be brothers. I mean, you coincide so well, and I could listen to you guys for hours. And the other thing is, and I forget, somebody got on and a nickname for Fields, but my opinion is I loved Aaron Rodgers, and it was Aaron freaking Rodgers, and I love what he did for the Jets. And if Justin Fields, my lips to God's ears, can be the future quarterback, it's going to be Justin freaking Fields.
Justin freaking Fields. I'm in, David. I hope we get the call on that because he's playing great.
I hope so. It's a process, and I'm still. I know he might not be the Jets quarterback of the future, but if he is, it's going to be Justin freaking Fields.
And you know what you are, David? David freaking T.
I got my eye on you, Jay. I hope you like my Jets take. They call me David T. It's not easy for me to see, but if you bring me full stream, you might like what I had to say. I'll need to get real damn close, cause my vision is dog shit.
Great work there by David T. You gotta love the man. That man is a legend, and I'm always gonna be proud of him either way. My doctors have already said that on Monday it's not worth it for me because due to high blood pressure, I wish I took a couple days ago. My blood pressure was at 194. Very, very dangerous. And my doctors have already said, nope, we're not having this, and it's not worth the effort. So that's why Bonesy will take care of all my stuff on Monday, and I will be with my family, and I will be fixing my bathtub up. That's a little more important than dealing with a little child who has no life and no brains and no IQ. Until then, enjoy the great times, and let's enjoy our day and have the great vets of all time come and enjoy this great moment. And no, Miss Dana, I'm not scared of Beasley. My doctors have already said that guy is trouble, and he's already raising my blood pressure to 194. Do you know what 194 looks like? I like to see you go to the doctor's office and sit there and have your blood pressure near the 200 mark. Yeah, that's real dangerous. See, doctors tell me these things called relax. That's why they give out pills. That's why they have all these things like amoxicillin, ibuprofen, acetaminophen, and all the other crazy stuff that they have in our systems today. Why do you think they have it? Because it's out there, folks. The doctors are the best part. And no, I did not eat anything yet, and that was just a bad fart. Oh, night. Okay, who's farting? It sure as hell ain't me, because I did not fart. I did not. Oh, yeah. Ha, ha, ha. Very funny. Very funny. Yeah, except this ain't Saturday Night Live from the 80s. This is a real show, real funny, real class. But on Monday, I will be out. I'm going to go enjoy my time.
He's home as Bill is on the bed. That's what feels good. On the road, Bill is on the bed. In a dirty hotel room. He calls the show as Bill is on the bed. He's just more comfortable. He got a beard, loves the jets, super chats. Where's a big fella? Sleeps alone. There's no room on his bed. Where's a big fella?
This is the new setup. Now, Beast, if you want to lower your blood pressure, you got to stop eating all that processed shit, bro. Like, for real. Your doctor should be telling you that.
Well, I'm going to take I'm going to take that different approach, and come Monday, I'm gonna go and enjoy time with my family, and I got a bathtub to go fix because there's a busted valve that I have to take apart. Got to go in there with the sucker and a monkey wrench and repair that. That'll be a little easy job. That's nothing new there.
Listen,
I'm not going to pay $400 for a guy to come here and go, oh, well, we're going to have to take this apart.
Listen,
and all this.
if you want to lower your blood pressure, you have to get more exercise and you have to stop eating shit. Okay, you got to start eating good. Okay, no more processed gabagool for a while. You know what I mean?
Well, that's why summer's here, and I'm going to take that time off away from that because I don't touch that during the summer. During the summer, it's basically a lot of water and other things that are better for me, a little bit more appropriate. Like I used to like rice cakes when I was in 6th grade. I remember having rice cakes in 6th grade. They're okay, but
rice cakes
I
are
don't know
shit
what
too, man.
Yeah, I know.
Rice cakes are not good either. Now listen, if you don't want to see Bobby Beasley on Monday, then just say you don't want to see Bobby Beasley on Monday. You don't have to say your doctor said.
I already made. I'm going to make my piece.
Well, there you go.
I'm going to say my piece that I'm going to enjoy time with my family and just enjoy better things in life because there's a lot more better things out there in the world that are more suitable, appropriate, and more to life. And are you liking this new hat that I got?
I do. I like that.
My grandfather he had this from Mexico because what was it? In 1953, after the war, he was like they wanted him to go to the Korean War, right? He was like,
listen,
no way, I'm out of here. He was like, you know what? I'm going down to Mexico and enjoying my time. So what did he have? He had a 1940 something car, and he drove down to Mexico. Him and my grandmother went, and my grandmother who came from England, Nottingham. They're young. They're young stars and just growing up.
Listen. I know. Stop right now. Okay, just 1 second. If you don't want to talk to Bobby Beasley, tell everybody you just don't want to talk to Bobby Beasley.
I don't want to talk to Bobby Beasley at all.
Don't push it off on your doctors. Just take it as yourself and be like, I don't want to talk about that guy, and that's it.
That's fair. Well,
okay, good.
Thanks, big fella. But one of these days, we're gonna have to meet. And if you decide to meet me here in Illinois, I'll take you around town, and I'll even show you where my old high school, where my old stomping grounds are at.
I look forward to it. I look forward to it.
Hey, did anyone ever tell you look like James Hetfield almost?
No, nobody did.
You do. You actually do.
I appreciate that.
But you look like the S&M version of James.
Thanks, I guess. anyway, I look forward to having talkers with you, man. And Jake, thank you for letting me give a little therapy to this man here. I appreciate it.
Beast Breaker 666. He's the man who would kick your ass, and then he'd gobble-goo.
That's why he is a licensed mental health professional, the big fella.
Dude, he's giving him good advice on how to be a healthier human being. And he goes back to I got a tub to fix and family to hang out with. Like, that's not what we're here for, Beast. Like, he's trying to help you. And honestly, all those pills and all those medications that you just named, just go hang out with your lawyer, Bonesy. That medication right there is way better than anything that you could pop in a pill form, I promise.
What a show. What a way to end it with some salient advice from the big fella who's sitting at a desk now. Gator, I don't know if you saw
Gator's
the
remix.
Gator's already coming up with the lyrics to the big fella at the desk song.
Because his
Where
back
he's
hurts.
sitting at his desk because his back hurt.
You have to say it in the voice or it doesn't work. Yeah.
It's amazing. Dylan, you're the man. Please, once again, plug the YouTube channel. It's brand new. It's only been around for a week. I'm going to put the link again in the live chat. I'll add it to the description as well. Subscribe to Dylan so he can build up his following on YouTube. He's doing his own thing. He was with Jet Nation live for all these years. He's still doing some stuff with them and now has his own channel as well. So make sure you guys subscribe to Dylan's channel. What do people need to know about the channel, Dylan?
Yeah, it's just my full name at Dylan Tereman. Easy to find me on YouTube, and you'll see the background and me in the picture, so it's very hard to miss. I just dropped a 30-minute Leonard Taylor All-22 review for all the diehards out there. So, and I got to test out this new little telestrator I got with this stylus pen. So maybe it's a little bit informative as well, but I think there's a lot to like with Leonard Taylor, and I'm going to keep doing now players on the roster. I kind of got through the rookie class, and now I'm going into players on the roster. So please just comment on any of my videos. Tell me somebody you want me to watch, and I'll pull clips of them. I got all the All-22, college and pro. So I'm excited, man. First weekend, 175 subscribers, a lot of Asmaniacs, a lot of guys from Buffalo Jet fan that watch him and I on Monday nights. So yeah, I mean, I'm super grateful for everybody that has checked it out. I should be going live with Buffalo in like another hour or two. We're going to do our first live stream on the channel. So I hope everybody comes and checks it out. And yeah, I'm super grateful for everybody, all the support, all the love. I'm trying to reciprocate it as best I can. You guys are truly amazing.
Hell yeah. Sounds like you got a bunch of subscribers added just on this one show right here, which is awesome. Dylan, you're the man. Thanks for spending almost 2 hours with us. Appreciate you always hopping on.
Absolutely. Chat, I'll catch you guys. I'll catch you guys tomorrow morning. What am I saying? Jake, I'll catch you next week.
Love it. Dylan Tereman in his weekly spot on the show. That does it. Reminder, the show's available in podcast form, Apple or Spotify. So if you know a Jet fan who listens to a lot of podcasts, tell him to start listening to this show. And then you could be like Thunderlips. You found the show via podcast, and then you're like, wait a second, I got to see what's going on here. And then you came over to YouTube. So it works both ways as well. Shout out to all of you. Couldn't do the show without you. Thanks to everyone who sent in the super chat, called in, gifted a membership, all that good stuff. We're back tomorrow. We'll have 2 shows for you, 1 in the morning, 1 in the afternoon. My name is Jake Asman. If somehow you're still watching and haven't figured that out, God bless. I end the show with a clip that I hope will provide some laughs. I hope will provide some clarity. I hope we'll provide a nice pep in your step on the way out of here. Ladies and gentlemen, enjoy. So are you not rooting for the U.S. in the Olympics?
I'm Puerto Rican. It'd be sacrilegious. I mean, I have
What do you mean?
root-
You live in the United States of America. You were born in this country, correct?
Yeah, but my family is from Puerto Rico, so I'm rooting.
You can't root for both?
No.
You wouldn't root for the U.S.?
I'm rooting for the Puerto Rico in the Olympics right now.
Okay, but what if the U.S. is in an event and Puerto Rico's not? Who are you rooting for?
I guess, yeah, okay. I guess if the Puerto Ricans don't have a dog in the fight, then okay.
Are you a communist, man?
No.
Well, it kind of sounds like you are if you're not rooting for the United States.
If the Puerto Ricans don't have a dog in the fight, then sure, I'll root for the U.S.
Okay, Team USA is in the gold medal basketball game. Puerto Rico's already been eliminated. Who are you rooting for? They're playing Germany.
Fine, I'll root for the U.S.
What do you mean fine? You're acting like it's a chore to root for the country you were born in. You've been to Puerto Rico once.
All right, can we just get back to football?
We cannot. We need to focus in on the fact you might be a communist.
I'm not a.
Give me the pledge. Let's do a little pledge and we'll get back to football.
All right, fine.
All right. Come on, give it to us.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to this republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Happy now? USA. U.S.
That was tough. Pittsburgh Mike writes in, which flag did Aaron Rodgers run onto the field with again? Remind me. The one on my hat. USA. USA. Chef Kevin says that's worse than Allen's Jet chant. I won't lie. V-Man's USA chant was Allen level bad. More of your calls right now. Ladies and gentlemen, Keith Best. Hello, Keith. Keith? Hey, Keith. Keith? Keith, you familiar with the work of V-Man? Hey, Keith. Everyone smash their Keith Best emoji if you're an Asmaniac. Keith? Wakey, wakey. All right. Here's today's poll question. Who was better at falling asleep on the air? V-Man's up next. Hello, V-Man. Come on. B-Man, you up?
Yep. Yep. Sorry. Linus is right. Linus freaking out. Sorry.
That was the OG of sleeping on the show. Also, I'm worried about Keith Best's neck, man. He's going to be sore. That's a neck strain waiting to happen the way he's knocked out. All right, so Keith is still asleep. Let's go back to the second time B-Man fell asleep on the air. Let's go to this guy right now. V-Man's up next. What's up, V-Man?
Good, Jay. How you doing?
I'm good, man. You sound like you just got up from a nap.
I'm just mad, but no.
You look well rested.
No, honestly, I'm not.
You sure
I'm
you
just,
weren't sleeping?
No, I wasn't. Yeah, but no, I'm just sorry. I honestly, I can tell you right now, I'm just like totally blanking right now.
Charles, are you still there?
Yeah, I'm still there. I'm just working my ass right now.
Okay, that's fine.